Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rotor Ramble. My name is Danny Engesser, and I'm here with my co-host Kevin Barber. And this is Rotor Ramble, and we have been talking about doing this project for at least 3 years. We've noticed that we created social media accounts for this project 3 years ago. I think we had been talking about it even years prior to that. We are basically here. We realized that we talk with each other about drones a lot. We go out flying a lot, and we wanted to have a forum where we could talk and share and educate and interview people that we think are interesting and bring that to other people. How are you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great. How are you, Danny?
Doing good. We This is kind of we're calling it our pilot episode, our first run at this. I think we're
Why
both.
are we calling it that?
Why are we calling it that? Oh, you said
Yeah.
because it's our
What's our
first.
double meaning?
Oh, the double meaning. Yes, it's for those that didn't catch that. We are both drone pilots. Some people would question the use of the term pilot. Drone operators, some people prefer, but according to the FAA, we are drone pilots, so we'll go with that. Um, anyway, we're kind of approach this from uh, an all experience level. So we're hoping to attract um, people who have never flown before and professionals alike. We this is our, like I said, our first run at it. I think both of us are probably more comfortable behind a camera. Um, but
Absolutely.
so we're kind of stepping out of our comfort zone and trying something new and see how it goes. This first, like I said, the pilot episode is going to be kind of just getting to know us, so who we are and our experience and what we're going to bring to the table, and kind of go from there, see how it goes. And then we know it's not going to be too heavy of an episode, uh, something to get out there and spread the word. And as we get more into it, we'll do very basic episodes. We'll do some deep episodes. Well, we hope to have a spectrum of topics and people to interview and just discussions, and hope to answer questions and see how this evolves. So it's kind of an experiment that we've been putting off way too long. So
Way too long.
way too long. Uh, so Kevin, do you want to start? Do you want me to start as far as like how we got into drones? You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I got into drones. Boy, it was 2015 or so. 2014, 2015. I started getting interested in them. Just seeing different YouTube videos, different posts about drones and flying cameras, and I just thought, man, this would be cool. I've always had an interest in aviation, but never far enough to go and get a private pilot's license or anything like that. But I always remember just enjoying being around airplanes, being around aviation in general.
What was your
And
first
so when I
drone?
started, my first drone was, so I actually got a very cheap, I mean, it wasn't all that cheap for the time, but it was a very simple drone. I don't even remember which one it was. I'll have to think about that. We'll add it in post.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just one of those unstabilized, just very simple drones. And then got lost, that got caught up in a tree for a while, a couple weeks, and eventually I decided, well, I have a photography business as well, and so I thought, well, the cameras are getting really good on them. Maybe I could use this in my photography business somehow. And that's how I was able to convince my wife that I can use a drone. And so my first real drone, my first good drone was a Phantom 3 Pro, and I think I got that in 2015, 2015 or 2016.
Yep.
and it was so right before Part 107 came out. I remember they were talking about it, didn't know what it would look like, and so
And for
yeah, I
people
was
that
able to
don't know what
start.
Part 107 is, that's a certification from the FAA to allow you to fly commercially or for non-hobby uses.
Well, you're gonna have to make a glossary and
Yeah.
refer to the glossary
Need little sub.
because we'll refer to that a lot.
Yes, definitely pay close attention to all this.
So yeah, my that's I've been using photography. I've been using drones with my photography, and I do a lot of real estate, architectural photography, and I've done plenty of other. I've done other things with the drone, roofing inspections, that sort of thing.
Do you wish to
Um,
drop your drone or photography business names?
yeah, so officially the photography business is Barber Photography. I also have a website, vertigo.photo, which is more of my aerial photography, commercial and residential real estate photography. So, yeah, click on the link below. How about you, Danny?
uh, yeah. I got my first drone as a hobbyist back in 2010. My It was the Parrot AR drone. It was a fairly good sized drone that you controlled with your cell phone. Actually, I think I took it up too high the first day, crashed it, and realized there was no parts available because it was such a brand new thing. So I had to wait a few months before I was back up in the air. But I think a lot of new drone pilots go through that. They kind of learn what is learn what they're really all about. Sometimes you kind of assume some things about the product, and then you realize, oh, it doesn't really do that or whatever. But it was still a great drone. I got it fixed, and then kind of like you, I got my first DJI drone in 2015 when the Phantom 3s came out, and I didn't get the Pro at the time. I got the Phantom 3 Advanced, uh, and then I've purchased many more drones. I got my Part 107 certification in 2017. I think that was about a year after that was available as an option
Yeah.
to allow me to do the commercial work. Uh, and it was kind of I was having a lot of people ask me to do stuff for them, and I just needed a way to do that legally. So it was nice when that came about. And then in 20, Kevin didn't talk about this, but he also got into this. FPV is something that we were kind of late to the party on, but I think we've really embraced it and enjoyed getting into it. I think we both got into that in 2021, late in 2021.
Yeah.
And so that's been a fun experience. It's definitely scary for anyone who is used to flying a traditional camera drone with GPS. Something I always tell people is that you can, with that type of drone, with a GPS camera drone, you could set that controller down and it'll fly. It'll just hover itself and land when the battery's done. With a FPV drone, if you try that, it'll crash right away. We both started out flying. I think you started flying in acro mode too as well, which
Pretty
is
much.
a way for you to have full control over that FPV drone, where you can do power loops and rolls instead of just having it hover flat. We both started out, I believe, in simulators to get a full understanding of how those FPV drones behave.
Crashes are much easier in a simulator.
Yes,
Much cheaper.
for sure. And maybe that'll be a topic for discussion. I'm sure it will be down the road for maybe a whole session about the simulators, but definitely we'll do FPV episodes, I'm sure. And then most recently, I would add another date to our list is 2023 is when we started the Rotor Ramble podcast officially.
Mark it as a day in history.
Yeah, well, and we picked this day. We realized that it was National Aviation Day. Originally, we were kind of looking at another date that's coming up that we'll talk about later next month. I think it's the 16th of September. Something called Remote ID is being enacted, and we'll definitely have an episode about that coming up. We won't get deep into that, but then we realized that this date was a good date to kind of do a get to know the hosts episode, I guess you could say.
So it's a pilot episode on Pilot Day.
Pilot episode on Pilot Day. And anyone that doesn't know what National Aviation Day is, I do have a quick blurb here from this is coming from Wikipedia. It says that the National Aviation Day, August 19th, is a United States national observation that celebrates the development of aviation. The holiday was established in 1939 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who issued a presidential proclamation which designated the aviation anniversary of Orville Wright's birthday to be National Aviation Day. So you can go on and read more about that, but I thought it was kind of a fun way to kick off this podcast series.
I didn't even put my aviation tree up.
Well, we have still some time to get that done. I hope there's presents. I hope there's new drones that arrive too.
There's probably crash drones in the tree.
Yeah. Definitely. We've had our share of crashes for sure. I don't know. Let's see what else.
Danny, what's your drone fleet look like these days?
It is.
What are you flying?
Where am I flying? Or
what
am I flying? It's I've got everything from a Mavic. Well, but my tiniest one that doesn't have a camera. It's about this big. It's so tiny that it actually fits within the controller. I think I bought it for $40. But I've got everything as far as camera drones go, from a Mavic Mini all the way up to a Inspire 1 Pro. I've had that since 2017, I think. And those bigger ones, I've flown Inspire 2. I haven't got the new Inspire 3 out, and I haven't flown that, but I have flown Inspire 2 before. I think my newest, I guess you could say, professional drone would be the Mavic 3 Classic. And you let me fly your new Mavic 3 Pro. You'll have to talk about that. But then also I've got other GPS camera drones and a couple FPV drones. I'm flying, as far as FPV goes, for those that are interested, I'm flying the DJI system, Cadix Vista. I've got my first one was a ProTech 35 6S Cinewhoop style. I mean, it's kind of a hybrid. iFlight is the brand, I guess. And then I got a year later, I think I got the Gep RC Mark V, and that's a great 5-inch freestyle that I would definitely recommend. So how about you? What are some of your favorites, or whatever you want to
I'll just
talk
do a
about?
quick, they're all my children. How do I choose a favorite child, right?
Yeah.
So I've got the smallest would be the Tello drone,
Oh, yeah.
which is just operate off the phone, Wi-Fi drone. Moving up in size, I've got the Mavic Air, the original Mavic Air, which I think you still have one of those.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's hard to get rid of that one.
So then I've got a Cinewhoop, kind of I don't even know if it has a model name, but Rotor Riot Cinewhoop ducted drone, FPV drone. I've got the Rotor Riot. See, Danny, you're making me forget my
Okay.
drone names. The Skyliner.
Oh, yes.
I've got the Skyliner, which is probably my favorite to just go out and fly. It's a lot of fun. I've got two Phantom 4 Pros, which were my workhorses. I bought the second one just because it was going to be. hard to get parts, and so I couldn't turn down a good deal on that second one. And that kind of delayed me upgrading drones to the Mavic 3. But then I finally decided to get the Mavic 3 Pro a couple months ago when I saw that come out. And that's definitely my favorite uh, with the camera right now. So
Well,
just having the ability to zoom in. It's got three different lenses that you can choose the zoom level.
for somebody who's just starting out in drones, what would be your advice for their first drone?
Oh man. I guess you're probably gonna crash it, so get something that you're not gonna be too devastated for crashing. But Yeah, I would, I guess it just depends what they're interested in doing with it. If camera drones, you definitely can't go wrong with something like a Air 2S or Air 3 that just came out from DJI. Some of those camera drones, the nice thing about those is you've got a fail safe. You let go of the controls and it just hovers. It's got obstacle avoidance, so you don't have to worry about you don't have to spend too much time worrying about running into buildings or trees if you keep that enabled and if it's working properly. Um, but someone getting into FPV, if just the pure fun of flying interests you, I've gotten to fly an Avata. I've had it in my cart and have hovered over that buy button, but just thought a little bit better of it. I'm not saying no. Maybe by the next episode, I don't know. Um, that Avata would be a great way to get into FPV if you haven't before. If you don't want to tinker with drones, if you don't want to tinker with soldering and stuff like that. However, if you're good at doing soldering, good at tinkering with stuff, and don't mind a little bit of more technical stuff, and don't mind learning to fly manually, then the FPV drones like the Skyliner, like the Cinewhoop, they're great. They're so much fun that you can crash them. I've crashed each of those multiple times, and they're pretty resilient. So uh, those are a lot of fun. So that wasn't really a good answer for what a single person should do. But how about you, Danny? What are your thoughts on those?
Well, I won't get into the FPV stuff. I mean, you can. I mean, I would say definitely if you're. I guess I didn't start this way, but if you're just starting out, I would maybe look at what's called a tiny whoop. I don't have a. I've never actually flown one, but I know I ended up diving in a little deeper because I wanted something that could carry a GoPro. But I won't get into that too much. I would say for like if you're looking for just a basic GPS camera drone, and as these podcasts go on, you're going to find I'm a DJI shill. I mean, I love DJI products, uh, and it's kind of too bad that they get a bad rap just because they're a Chinese company, but they actually make a product that works and is reliable. So I'm going to keep recommending them. Uh, but I would recommend a DJI, like a Mavic SC, Mini SE, or Mini One if you can find one real cheap, a couple $100. Two, and if you want something more, get the 3 or 3 Pro. Um, that's a good starter drone, I think, and very reliable. It What's nice about those is they fly essentially the same as the big ones. So if you can learn that, it's very easy to step up to a bigger drone. So um, I forgot to mention I do have a side hustle business too. Visionaire Iowa, right there, is my side drone business, and I made it just as an outlet for when people ask me to do something, and I have a full time job as well. I work at Iowa PBS. I'm the digital distribution coordinator there, and occasionally I get to fly drones and teach drones there as well. So it's kind of a cool benefit of having a Part 107. Um, did we meet through the drone group? There's a drone group on Facebook called the Des Moines UAV Club that was started, I forget what year, by our founder, Zachary Hayes. We're not worthy. He's give him a plug out there. I think I joined the group when there were 12 people in there, and now we have like 1,500 people, I think. But I think
Yeah,
that's how
it's
we
around
met.
1,500.
So if anyone in Iowa or beyond is looking to join a friendly, we keep it friendly in there, drone group, I recommend the Des Moines UAV Club. We do have a website, DesMoinesUAV.club, or you can find us on Facebook. And both Kevin and I are admins in that group, and we have two more admins, Zachary and Tony Hansen as well. So we do our best to clean out all the spam and keep it a friendly experience and an environment where people can learn and share their stuff. And it's a great place because we have everybody from someone who's never flown a drone, who may have a friend that's looking for a lost dog, to the FAA is in there, to Hollywood professionals. We have a guy who's done many Hollywood projects, and you might run across some of his comments sometime, and it's really cool to have him dropping by every once in a while and dropping some good knowledge. What else? So we got that.
Danny, I actually remember when we first met. We had put on the I think you had put on the drone days, and that was, I remember right after you got your Part 107. I think you had just passed, and but we were hanging out at the drone days. So that was like May 2017, I guess.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. We used to. It'd be nice to get back doing this again. We tried to synchronize at least one annual meetup called the International Drone Day event, and we would try to bring in speakers, whether it was someone who was flying FPV or an FAA administrator from the local, what they call the FSDO, the Flight Standards District Office. And they've been very, very great to work with as far as coming out and helping to educate us on the proper ways to work within the FAA and the national airspace. So that's been cool. We could talk about, if you want to follow, we'll try to keep this episode short. I don't know if we have too much more to say, but if not, we could maybe promote our social stuff for this podcast. We do have accounts set up. Like if you go to rotorramble.com, you'll find links to everything we have. We're going to be posting to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. We've got a Facebook account, so you can friend us up there. YouTube we'll be trying to do video versions of this podcast as well, and we'll be posting those to YouTube, and then we're also on Instagram and Twitter, which I guess is now X, for those that wish to continue in that social media platform. And so we need to update our page because that was created before that changed to X. So anyway, if you want to follow us there, subscribe to us, and also, we're always looking for. We're going to be looking definitely for topic ideas. So if you have people that we think we should interview or topics we should cover, I know a lot of people are interested in remote ID, so that will definitely be coming up. We'll try to have a huge spectrum of topics and level interest, like experience levels, I guess you could say, to try to cover whatever needs to be covered and share whatever we want to do. It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want, right?
Absolutely.
So, do you have anything else you want to talk about? I'm trying to think if we got everything.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and we hope we did okay, and we will see you on the next one, as a lot of the hip podcasters say. Catch you later.
Bye.